Today I'm going to be sharing a really delicious chocolate chip cookie recipe. It's a keto cookie and it's actually my favorite chocolate chip cookie of all. And I have made several over the years. And this one is made with coconut flour, which is my absolute favorite flour to use. So if you guys are ready to see this easy, low-carb keto chocolate chip cookie recipe, I'm going to show you how it's done. So first of all, you're going to take a medium mixing bowl and you're going to take 1/2 cup of golden sweetener. Now you can use the Swerve brown sweetener, but my favorite is to use the Locanto golden monk fruit sweetener. But like I said, you do want to use a brown sweetener just because it gives that nice authentic chocolate chip cookie flavor. Because chocolate chip cookies, the Toll House variety anyway, uses a brown sugar. And then you're going to want to mix in 1/2 cup of butter. Now I have gone dairy free, so instead of using butter, my preference is to use butter flavored coconut oil. And then 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 2 large eggs. And you beat that with an electric mixer until everything is well blended together. Then you're going to stir in 1/2 cup of coconut flour, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then after that mixture is well combined with the butter mixture, then you're going to fold in 1/2 cup of low-carb, keto-friendly chocolate chips. Now my favorite chocolate chips to use for this recipe is either homemade ones or the Choc Zero chocolate chips. Choc Zero is actually my favorite keto chocolate of every one that I've tried. So if you can get Choc Zero, that's the one I recommend if you don't have the time to make your own chocolate chips. And I do have a video as well for how to make your own sugar-free, low-carb, keto-friendly chocolate chips, and I'll go ahead and post that link to the video where I show how to make them. And there's 2 ways you can make your own sugar-free chocolate chips. You can either chop them up in chunks, or you can use little chocolate chip candy molds, so you get the little chip shape. It does take longer and it is a bit messier to do it that way, but I show you the trick that I use to make sure I get the chocolate right into each individual chip mold. Okay, so once you've had your chocolate chips mixed into the cookie dough batter, then you're going to go ahead and make your cookies like you would any cookies. So I like to use a cookie scoop, but you can go ahead and use 2 tablespoons and just spread it out on, I like to use a lined cookie sheet. And my preference is to use a silicone mat, baking mat on them, but you could use parchment paper as well. So you're going to want to go ahead and shape all your cookies out. And I get about 2 dozen cookies with this recipe. Now it will vary a little bit depending on what size scoop you use, but for my scoop, and it might be about a tablespoon or maybe a little bit less, I get 24 cookies. So once you've got all your cookie dough scoops onto your baking sheet or your lined baking sheet, then I flatten each dough ball out with my fingers. You can also use the bottom of a cup to flatten each one out. Then you're going to bake them in a preheated 350-degree oven for 12 to 15 minutes or until the cookies are golden brown. Then you'll let them cool slightly and then remove them from the pan and put them on a wire rack to cool completely. Now I should note, with low carb cookies, they do tend to be pretty crumbly right after you've baked them. So what I've found is that, of course, they're so delicious you have to eat one right away, right? But what I found is that if I put most of them in the refrigerator overnight, the next day they are really perfect. And I think that's because after being chilled, the fat just kind of holds everything together. So if you bake these cookies and you find them to be a little bit crumbly, or any low carb cookie and you find it to be a little crumbly, go ahead and put them in the fridge and see how they do after they've been chilled. Now I do store them in the fridge as well, and these cookies can be frozen as well for up to 3 to 6 months. So if you have trouble with self-control like I sometimes do, you might want to hide them in the freezer so you don't eat the whole batch at once. I really hope you like these low carb coconut flour chocolate chip cookies, and be sure to let me know what you think in the comments if you do give them a try. And that's it for now. If you'd like to see more recipes from Low Carb Yum, be sure to subscribe to the Low Carb Yum channel.